Hello and welcome to Tahara Loves Pilates. I've got 5 exercises that I've chosen to help provide you with any back pain or discomfort that you might be experiencing. So it goes without saying to always check with your doctor or a health professional before embarking on any physical activity. Let's get started with number 1. So exercise number 1 is our pelvic clock. So come and lie down in this Pilates rest position. Your feet are in parallel. That means your ankles, knees and hips are all in one line and your arms are relaxed by the sides of the body. We're just imagining the face of a clock on the pelvis. We've got 12 at the pubic bone and 6 at the belly button. A marble in the centre of these two numbers, and we're going to roll back and forwards. So if we roll to 6 o'clock, you should feel the lower back flattening into the floor, and this should be a lovely little stretch for the lower back. And as you roll the marble to 12 o'clock, your lower back should arch away from the floor. You should feel a bit of a stretch at the front of the body. So let's use some breath. Exhale as you flatten the back. And inhale as you arch. Just forwards and backwards. Really feeling that as the back of the body stretches, the front of the body shortening. And as the front of the body stretches, the abdominals get long, the lower back's having a bit of a engagement there. So forwards and backwards. Bringing your pelvis to centre. We're going to add 2 more numbers, 3 at the right hip and 9 at the left hip. So as we roll the marble to 3 o'clock, you should feel that right hip dipping down as that left hip tips upwards, and it affects the legs as well. So one thigh will reach away as the other thigh draws in towards the hip socket. Roll the marble back through centre across to 9. This time the left hip is dipping down, that right hip is reaching upwards towards the ceiling, and again one thigh is lengthening away as the other thigh is reaching in towards the hip socket. So dipping from side to side. Almost imagine a little tiny person sat on each side of your pelvis, and there's a little seesaw action going on. So this might feel quite stiff, quite tight, but the more you do these motions, our 6 o'clock tilt, our 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock tilt, you should start to feel more movement of the lower back. And then coming back to centre. Our second exercise is marching. So our pelvis is going to remain in neutral here. So that's your marble in between your 6 and 12 and your 3 and 9. We're taking a breath out as we float one leg to tabletop position, and a breath in as we place the foot back down against the floor. Other side, exhale to float the leg to tabletop, and inhale to place the foot back down. So as I'm doing this marching motion through the feet, through the legs, I'm maintaining my pelvis in a neutral position. So we've not got any of that pelvic clock motion going on. We're nice and still and stable in the pelvis. I'm imagining an elastic band wrapped around the waist, and as I breathe in, that band is widening. And as I breathe out, that band is tightening around the waist. And that's just a little image I like to use to help find our deep core muscles. You can place a hand on the front just to make sure that pelvis is staying neutral. We've not got any rocking forwards and backwards. And it's just a gentle engagement of those muscles. We can increase the effort here by bringing one leg to tabletop and keeping it there. And on your next breath out, bring in that second leg. So we're just increasing the work for our core. And just adding that extra bit of work only, of course, if it feels comfortable. Breathing out to float one leg. Just gently holding those abdominal muscles in as you lower the feet down. Exercise number 3 is our side to side motion. So we're keeping the feet against the floor, bringing them together knees together. Arms are just stretched a little bit further away from the torso and the palms are flattened down. We're going to rock the knees over to one side. Keep the feet glued together. Bring the legs back through centre and over to the other side. So we're keeping the shoulder blades against the floor, and it's as if we're separating our upper body from our lower half of the body. Just a gentle little twist through the spine, just going as far as is comfortable. Adding some breath here to help us. We're going to take a breath in the centre and exhale as we tip. Inhale as we hold. Exhale back to centre. Inhale. Exhale, tip. Inhale, hold. Exhale to centre. So the breath pattern really is that we breathe out as we move, in as we hold. Feet staying against the floor. We can bring the legs up to our tabletop position, again bringing the feet together, knees together, and again this rock from side to side. So we're adding that mobility and adding just a bit of core work as well. Exercise number 4 is our bridge. So we're actually starting with our pelvic tilt here. Our rolling of the marble to 6 o'clock and flattening the back into the floor. Once we've found that little tip of the pelvis, we're pushing the feet down into the floor and you'll feel the pelvis wants to lift up. Taking a breath in at the top. And then as you breathe out, we're sending the spine down against the floor again, bone by bone. Starting with our little tuck of the pelvis, reaching the knees away, lengthening through the hips, lengthening the spine, and breathing out as we set the spine down bone by bone. My favourite image here is a string of beads, and we're picking each bead up off the floor one by one and then setting them down again. And this is really good because it's going to engage your glutes, and strong glutes is definitely going to assist with providing relief for back pain, preventing it in fact. Adding a reach of the arm as we press up. We're going to reach our fingertips up towards the ceiling, wrists over the shoulders. As we start to send the spine down, we're reaching our arms overhead, so there's a lovely little two-way stretch through the spine. As the pelvis touches down again, we return the arms back to the floor so that the arms can support us on the way up. That lovely little lengthening motion of the spine all the way down. Exercise number 5 is our cat-cow stretch. So we're coming into a quadruped position. Hands are underneath your shoulders and the knees underneath your hips. We're tucking that tailbone under to lengthen the lower back, nodding chin to chest as we round the spine. We're leading with the sitting bones, that's the very base of your pelvis, to arch the lower back away, lengthening up and out. So start with that tailbone. Imagine little wheels here, turning and tucking that spine under. You can feel the hands against the floor here to push the floor away and increase that stretch of the spine. Adding some breath to get the most out of the movement. Breathe out as you tuck. in as you fold at the hips, lengthening the spine out. Exhale, scoop. And you'll recognise this motion of the pelvis again from that very first exercise that we did, number 1, the pelvic clock. We're just allowing it to be a little bit bigger, travelling up now through the whole of the spine. You can hold the position here and take an extra inhale, an extra exhale to increase that stretch, and then release. So there are my 5 exercises for providing the back with a bit of relief from pain or discomfort. So do give them a try and let me know in the comments how you got on. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Pilates exercises. Do get in touch as well for more information on online one-to-ones and group sessions with me.